Welcome to a course on operating systems. In this lecture, we are going to study a problem on deadlock avoidance. How to give a solution for a given problem on deadlock avoidance. You all studied all the issues related to deadlock from Unit 3. In this lecture, you are going to study how to solve a given problem which is related to deadlock avoidance. In particular, most of the numerical problems asked on deadlock avoidance, particularly multiple instances of each resource type. Let us see a problem here. The question is, a system contains 10 units of resource class RU. There is a resource class. That resource class is represented using a letter RU. How many number of units of that resource? 10 units of that resource. The resource requirements for these user processes, 3 user processes P1, P2 and P3 are as follows. The resource requirements of 3 user processes named as P1, P2 and P3 are as follows. Here P1, P2, P3 are the names of 3 user processes. The maximum requirements of a resource RU for P1 8, for P2 7, for P3 5. And current allocation, so what are the resources allocated for P1, P2, P3? The current allocation is 3 RUs are allocated for P1 and one instance of RU resource allocated for P2 and 3 instances of RU resource allocated to process P3. And balance requirement means what is the need, balance in the sense need. But we have used maximum, allocation and need, but in this problem they are calling need as a balance. The balance requirement, you know the formula for a need. The formula for need is max minus allocation. Need equal to maximum requirement minus allocation. Here in this problem, they are calling, there is no guarantee that, so in every problem they use the same names. So according to the name they used, you can interpret that this is the actual data structure used in that problem or in the given question. So maximum requirement, that is the maximum data structure, and current allocation information they have given. And now balance is, you simply interpret that need. You need not calculate need. In the question itself they have given the need. 5 resources required for P1 and 6 resources of RU required for P2, 2 resources required for P3. That is the information. And coming to the request, a new request made. Here one process is making a request. We will see in the question. So one process will see here a new request made, one resource for P1. Here what you have to understand, P1 is requesting a one resource of type RU. Whether that request can be granted or not, we will see. And what is the question they are asking? Using the Banker's algorithm, determine if the projected allocation state is safe and whether the request of P1, what is the request of P1? P1 request is, it is asking one RU resource whether that request will be granted or not. So this is the question. This is the question or a problem they are asking. Here there are 2 questions they asked. One is if the projected allocation state is safe. That is one question. Another one is whether the request of P1 will be granted or not. 2 questions. We have to apply 2 algorithms from the Banker's algorithm. One is safety algorithm and another one is resource allocation for a process PI algorithm. Resource allocation algorithm, those 2 algorithms we are going to apply for this problem, and we are going to find the answer whether the system is in safe state or not, or P1 request will be granted immediately or not. These are the two questions they asked in this problem. Let us see here in this slide what you are going to see here is we are going to find what are the two questions asked. We are going to analyze the problem, analyze the question here. They asked two things. One is determine if the projected allocation state is safe. And what is the algorithm we are going to apply? Apply a safety algorithm from Banker's algorithm, and in the question itself they use a Banker's algorithm. And next one, whether the request of P1 will be granted or not. Whether the request of P1 will be granted or not. What is the algorithm we are going to apply? Resource request algorithm for process Pi from the Banker's algorithm. Now, so we will see the first one. What is determine? What is the first question? Determine if the projected allocation state is safe. Simply apply the safety algorithm from Banker's. Here, according to the given data, we have created a table. In our interpretation. So, in our interpretation which we studied from previous lectures, here max. So, max is a data structure here, only one resource and 3 processes. So, what is the matrix? 3 into 1 means 3 rows and 1 column. Similarly, allocation according to the given data, allocation, and need, that they called need as a balance. Here we are calling balance as a need in this table. Need, again this is a matrix, and availability. You can calculate, they have not given the availability, but you can calculate the available of resources simply you sum all the allocations minus the existing instances of resource type. Here existing instances of resource type, here 10 instances of resource class RU. How many allocated? Here 7 allocated. 7 allocated, 3 plus 1 plus 3, 7 allocated, 10 minus 7, 3. 3 is the available resources of class RU. In safety algorithm, what is the condition you have to verify? The condition which we are going to verify in safety algorithm is find a process, that process need less than or equal to available resources. What are the available resources in this problem? The available resources according to this data, here 3 resources are available. With 3 resources, what is the process need we are going to satisfy? Here in this 3 resources, the condition satisfied with only P3. Why? Because P3 need is less than or equal to available. But in case of P1 and P2, P1 needs 5 resources and P2 needs 6 resources, so that the condition will not be satisfied. So that in this case or in this slide, what is I value? I value is 3. So P3 is satisfied the condition. For every iteration, we are going to select one process. So in this case, P3 need is 2 less than or equal to current available. So this condition is true. Therefore, update the available. If you want to update the available, what is the formula? The formula is available equal to available plus P3 allocation. What is the P3 allocation? P3 allocation is 3. P3 allocation is 3. So that add the current available. What is the current available? 3 plus what is the allocation of P3? Allocation of P3 equal to 3, that is equal to 6. That is equal to 6. So why we are adding this? We know that once we allocated the resources to P3, required resources to P3, after completion of execution, P3 is going to release the allocated resources. If we add that allocated resources, why? Because P3 completes its execution. P3 completed its execution, so that P3 is going to release the resources. Those resources we are going to add with the available resources. Then available will be updated or incremented. So what is the availability here now? 6. P3 is nowhere. P3 completed its execution. Now in the next, so what is the safe sequence here? Safe sequence is, so we have kept a process in the safe sequence. What is the first process for this snapshot? This is a system snapshot. P3 is the first process. This is going to get the resources from the system, from the operating system. What is the next process we are going to select? You can select either P1 or P2. Either P1 or P2. Here I am going to select P1. I am going to select P1. So P1, what is the P1 need? P1 need is 5. 5 less than or equal to current available. Current available is 6. So this condition is satisfied. Then update the available. Available equal to available plus P1 allocation. What is the P1 allocation? Again P1 allocation is a 3, so that update the available 6 plus 3 equal to 9. 6 plus 3 equal to 9. Now availability is updated. Now two processes completed, P1 and P3. Both are completed. Now what is the safe sequence now? The safe sequence is P3 followed by P1. What is the next process? Obviously we have only one process, that is P2. What is the P2 need? P2 need is 6. P2 need is 6. So 6 less than or equal to 9? Yes, this condition is satisfied. Then P2 need 6 less than or equal to current available. Current available is 9. Then update the available equal to available plus P1 allocation. What is P1 allocation? P1 allocation is 1. P1 allocation is 1. So 9 plus 1 is 10. So after completion of all processes means according to the given data, 3 processes in the system. After completion of 3 processes, then all resources are freely available. How many instances of resource class are you? 10. So 10 released. So we made correctly this problem. Finally, what is the safe sequence? Safe sequence is P3, P1, P2. What is an alternative safe sequence? Alternative safe sequence is P3, P2, P1. Both are correct. Both are correct. You can find more than one safe sequence for a given problem. But what is the order we are following? The first process in any order, the first process is P3. There is no doubt at all. So in any order, first process is P3. Then you can select either P2 or P1. If any student has given a safe sequence, start with other than P3, that safe sequence is wrong. That safe sequence is wrong for this problem. Wrong for this problem. Finally, you can say that system is in, yes, the system is in safe, because safe sequences exist. If you allocate the resources in the order P3, P1, P2, then definitely we can say we can avoid the deadlock. So this is the first problem in the given data or in the given question. And coming to the second question, what is the second question? Whether the request of P1 will be granted or not. What is the request of P1? The request of P1, it is asking one instance of resource class RU. Whether the request of P1 will be granted or not, what is the algorithm we have to apply? The algorithm we must apply for this type of problem, resource request algorithm for process PI from Banker's algorithm. So according to our data, how much instances P1 is asking? We have only one resource type, that is RU. How many resources it is asking? Only one instance of RU. Only one instance of RU. So what is the condition in this algorithm? The first condition in this algorithm is request of I less than or equal to need of I, and request of I less than or equal to available. Let us check. So what is I value here? I value is 1, that is P1. So what is the request? What is the request of P1? One instance of RU. 1 is less than or equal to 5, that is true. And 1 is less than or equal to 3, that is also true. True and true is true. So this condition is satisfied. If these two conditions are satisfied, then update the data structures. What are the data structures we are going to update according to the algorithm of resource request algorithm for process PI? Available data structure you have to update, allocation table you have to update, need table you have to update. Okay, available equal to available minus request of P1. Available equal to available of request P1. So if you do that subtraction, what is the current available? Current available is 3 minus what is the request? 1. 3 minus 1 equal to 2. So we have updated. Then what is the allocation? Allocation is allocation of P1 plus request of P1. What is the allocation of P1? Allocation of P1 is a 3 plus what is the request of P1? 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Then need. Okay, what is the need of P1? Need of P1 is 5. 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1. So what is that? 4. Okay, so we have updated all the data structures, allocation, need and available according to the given request. After that, what we have to do? This updation can be committed or rollback we can decide with the help of safety algorithm. If the safety algorithm identified that the system is in safe, then this request can be granted, otherwise this request cannot be granted. Now apply a safety algorithm. If you apply a safety algorithm, what is the condition? Find a I such that need of I less than or equal to available. Similarly, the same way you can apply the previous algorithm whatever we have applied. Again we have to compare with the need. What is the condition? Need. What is the need of P1? 4. 4 less than or equal to 2 is false. Again P2 need is 6. 6 less than or equal to 2 false. And what is the P3 need? P3 need is 2. So 2 less than or equal to 2 is true. Then update the available. If no process is satisfied this condition, simply we say that the system is going to fall into the deadlock. This state may leads to a deadlock. So don't allocate the resources. Don't allocate the resources until the resource value increased. Once the resource value is increased, then you can allocate the resources if any process satisfied the condition. If you keep that condition in the operating system, definitely we can avoid the deadlock. But the problem here, to use this algorithm in the operating system to avoid the deadlock, the problem is every process must give the maximum climb prior to its execution. That is only the difficult issue here. If you get that maximum climb before starting of every process, definitely you can use this algorithm. So anyway, so what is the step here? What is the condition satisfied? The condition satisfied here is P3 satisfied the condition. P3 need is a 2 less than or equal to current available, so that update the availability. So current availability is 2, and what is the P3 allocation? P3 allocation is 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now added, safe sequence is 3. P3 completed. Now what is the next process going to be completed here? The next process is definitely P1. Why? Because P1 only can satisfy the condition. What is the condition here? 4. So how many resources need for the P1? 4. 4 less than or equal to 5. What is availability? Availability is 5. Therefore, so what is the condition we are going to check? P1 need 4 less than or equal to current available. 4 less than or equal to 5. This is true. Then update the availability. What is available here? Available equal to available plus P1 allocation. What is current available? Current available is 5. 5 plus P1 allocation. How much allocated for P1? 4 plus 5 plus 4 equal to 9. So the current availability is 9. And so what is the safe sequence here? P3, P1. So this is a definite safe sequence. First you have to allocate the resources for P3, and next you have to allocate the resources for P1. What is the next process? Next process is P2. P1 completed and P3 completed, now P2. So what is the need of P2? Need of P2 is 6. 6 less than or equal to current available, that is 9. This condition is true, then update the available resources are 9 plus and 1. What is the 1? 1 is the allocation of P2, then total number of resources available now 10. So all three processes completed. Now what is the safe sequence? Safe sequence is P3, P1, P2. So we can able to derive only one safe sequence for this problem now. So we cannot derive another safe sequence. We have only one safe sequence, that is P3 followed by P1 and P2. This is only the safe sequence you can get. Now, so we can simply say that the system is in safe. The system is in safe. Why? The reason is safe sequence exists. Safe sequence exists. Once the safe sequences exist, the system is in safe. Then what is the answer for the second question? The answer for the second question is system is in safe because safe sequence exists. Hence, P1 request granted immediately. P1 request granted immediately. Now we solved problem 1 and problem 2 in the given question. So now we have solved problem 1 and problem 2 in the given question. What is the first problem? What is the first problem in the given question? The first problem is whether the system is in safe or not, and the second question is P1 request can be granted or not. P1 request can be granted immediately because we have identified safe sequence. Then you can write finally, you can write the answer for a question. What is the answer? System is in safe state and P1 request can be granted immediately with the above proof. Whatever the proof we have given, that proof you have to write in the exam, and with that proof, what is the final answer? Final answer is system is in safe state and P1 request can be granted immediately. This is the way to solve the problem which is related to deadlock, avoidance. So thank you for watching this lecture.